Hi everyone, welcome. I'm glad you are finding the new link okay for those of you that could not get into the original Zoom event. We're going to give it a couple minutes just for additional people to find the new link and join us. Hi, Polly.
Hello. I was able to connect a couple of people, I think, that didn't have the fresh link.
Perfect. I had just updated the group that we're just going to give it a couple more minutes to get people to find the updated link that need it.
All right, well, I'm gonna put my audio on mute for now, just in case I get any more phone calls.
All right. Well, we have not had anyone join in about a minute or so, so I think we should probably go ahead and get started, and um, we can see if we have a couple more join us along the way. But I would love to, first of all, thank you all for joining us today. And again, I do apologize if there was some difficulty or confusion getting the Zoom link. Today's program will be recorded. So if you do not want to be in the recording, we invite you to turn off your camera, which is in the bottom left of your Zoom screen. You'll see a little camera icon. So you can turn your camera off or on. You can also mute yourself with the microphone. And if there are any background noises or interferences, Zoom hosts may mute you. So just be aware of that. There will be time for Q&A with Geoff. So you can mute or unmute yourself to ask questions. And for those of you that do not know me, my name is Thina Lindhorst. I'm the Executive Director of Love Living at Home. I am thrilled to introduce our new Services Coordinator who is joining us today. So you will see Polly Kiley here with us as well.
Hello, everyone.
And last but not least, joining us from the Tompkins County Department of Emergency Response is Geoff Dunn. So thank you, Geoff, for joining us. And I would just like to thank the Tompkins County Emergency Response Department, the County Office for the Aging, and AARP for making today's presentation possible. So I will now turn it over to Geoff.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Thina. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that hopefully you're enjoying the snowy day, safely somewhere, in the warmth of your home or office today. This is going to be the second virtual training that we've done. We did one a couple of months ago, so the folks who attended that one were sort of our guinea pigs in how we present this. And this is the training that is provided in person by what's known as the Citizen Preparedness Corps, CPC, part of the State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. And they do in-person trainings throughout the year all over the state. We try to do them locally every other month or so. And we do take a couple of months off, January and February in the wintertime, and we'll resume those again in March. But because of the support from COFA and Love Living at Home and AARP, we added a couple of these virtual presentations. So we're going to utilize what is a roughly a 26-minute video that is produced by Dishes and the Citizen Preparedness Corps. It is pretty broad overview. So there aren't as many details as you would get in the in-person training. I know that Athena had sent out in the confirmation for this training the emergency handbook, which it's a PDF, which I believe she can also produce paper copies if you need them. And this is the handbook that's actually presented to everybody who attends an in-person training. So a little background on the CPC. Their trainings began back in February of 2024 when the then governor came to the conclusion that he did not think New Yorkers were prepared enough following Superstorm Sandy. So its purpose is to teach folks how to prepare for disaster or emergency situations. And it includes information about the types of risks and hazards you face, how to develop individual and household plans, and also encourages all of us to think about and save needed emergency supplies. So learning how to help yourself and others in advance will help you not only react faster when facing a crisis, but also do so with a great deal of what I'm hoping would be added confidence. Since these trainings began in February 2014, well over 100,000 New Yorkers have actually gone through the training. So it's been a fantastic program. And I'm hoping that after today, you might be encouraged to come to one of our in-person trainings in 2026. So what we're going to do is I'll start the video, and there are some sections where I want to stop. I will stop the video and add some further context, and there may be a couple of questions that would come up at that time. So without further ado, share my screen.
Hello, and welcome to the Citizen Preparedness Corps' Disaster Preparedness. What do you need to know? New York State's Guide for Citizen Safety in an Emergency. The Citizens Preparedness Corps gives residents the knowledge and tools they need to prepare for emergencies and disasters, respond accordingly, and to recover as quickly as possible. As you move through this presentation, you will learn important concepts and techniques for dealing with emergencies and keeping your family safe. Please take your time with this material and take advantage of all the resources listed in this presentation to better protect yourself and those around you in an emergency. By the end of this presentation, you should be able to identify the types of hazards which could affect you and your family, know how to begin preparing an emergency plan for your household, and know how to put yourself, your family, and your community in a better position to recover from a catastrophic event. The agenda for this presentation is as follows. Part 1, preparing your plan. Part 2, you are a first responder. Part 3, recovery is a process. Before we begin, you should be aware of the types of hazards that you will need to think about throughout this presentation. Think about the state, your community, and your home, as each will help you focus on a different set of potential situations that you could face. There are 4 types of potential hazards in New York State, and although some are mainly seasonal events, most can occur at any time. There are natural hazards, such as hurricanes and tropical storms, tornadoes, storms with severe wind and heavy rain, snow and ice, flooding and fire, human-caused hazards, such as a bomb threat, terrorism, cyber attack, an active shooter, or domestic violence. There are also technological hazards, such as power failures, airplane crashes, dam or levee failures, and train derailments. Finally, there are biological hazards, such as infectious diseases, contaminated food, and animal disease outbreaks. Given the wide array of threats which put our state at risk, every New Yorker needs to be prepared for any number of types of hazards and situations where everyday needs may not be readily available. Planning and acting with common sense can make all the difference in a dangerous situation. Part 1. Preparing your plan. During an emergency, it is
Yeah, I just want to pause there. I know that the sound may be a little low. If you might have to crank that a little bit on your own individual speakers. I have it on max level on my end. Is anybody having issues? Um, and the reason I also stopped it there is I did want to kind of, go over a couple of points about and think that you can open this up and people can just answer at will about what do you all think are the most likely hazards that we face in our area? Anybody?
Say extended loss of power.
Yep, that would be one. Absolutely, power outages,
Flooding.
flooding. Flooding's probably one of the biggest ones. Concerns, yeah.
And someone in the chat said flooding and snowstorms.
Yeah, snowstorms, exactly. We have had blizzards before. We've gone through some wind events, some strong winds. We now have a more of a chance, it appears, over the last couple of years for tornadic activity. I mean, we had whatever the total was, 28 tornadoes in New York last year, which is pretty rare for us. And then can anybody think of a biological disaster? Anything maybe like 4 years ago, 5 years ago was obviously COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, primarily we're talking about, natural, occurring instances, and I think our biggest concern as we go forward is flooding. As you all know, the FEMA maps were redrawn. Many of us are required to have flood insurance. And I think that's, especially in some of the low-lying areas of the county, that's going to be a concern moving forward. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
And Geoff, we had another comment in the chat: extreme heat, drought, smoke, and wildfire.
Yeah, we've all had that. A little bit of each of them. Yeah. Yep, and with the issues with climate, heat is definitely something we've dealt with over the last couple of years with extreme heat conditions. Okay, we'll move on to preparing your plan, the part 1 here.
It's always better if you have a plan you can use to guide your response. Being prepared takes 3 simple steps. First, sit down with family members and work together to develop a family emergency plan. Second, prepare your family and your home by learning about techniques and resources to stay safe. Third, practice your plan. Involve all family members and practice the plan to improve it over time. We begin with developing a family emergency plan. Ask yourself and your family these questions. What potential hazards could affect us? Detail the types of potential hazards in your specific area and what impacts they may have on your home, neighborhood, work, or school. Next, think about what is likely to happen with each hazard. Your plan should provide basic steps to address the situations these hazards cause. Finally, keep your family emergency plan simple, so it's easy for all to remember during stressful emergency situations. Now think about who you may be planning for in your family, for example, such as babies or infants, the elderly, or pets. Are there concerns or medical needs that need to be addressed? Does anyone in your family need special equipment or have special dietary needs? What emergency supplies does your family need for daily living? Are these supplies assembled and easy to retrieve? And have you considered what is essential to each member of your family? such as a favorite stuffed animal or toy for a young child. Where will you go in an emergency, and how will you get there? Make sure all family members are familiar with escape routes from your home, work, and places you visit. If you are somehow separated from loved ones, ensure that your family emergency plan includes 2 locations where you will meet up. You should pick 2 locations, one near your home and another outside the community, and ensure that family members are familiar with evacuation routes from your community. Think about how your family members will stay in contact with each other in an emergency. Ask an out-of-town relative or friend to be your point of contact, or choose an organization for everyone in your family to contact. And don't forget about social media, which can be helpful for communications in an emergency, even if it's just to let others know you are safe. Another important part of emergency planning is knowing where to get information. New York State uses the Emergency Alert System, or EAS, and Wireless Emergency Alerts, or WEA, to provide critical information to people in an emergency.
Thank you.
Radio
Bye.
up-to-the-minute weather information, so it's good to have one on hand. Warning sirens in places that dammed nuclear power plants are designed to warn nearby residents of emergencies involving those facilities.
Right here.
And of course, social media can again be an important tool for learning more about an emergency. Remember that services and plans likely exist for those organizations with which you are already involved, such as schools, workplaces, daycare centers, elder care, or senior citizen centers and babysitters. Talk with representatives from these organizations to supplement and align your emergency planning efforts. If you're looking for additional support, local emergency management officials can be tremendous resources who can help with your emergency planning. Other resources include community-based volunteer opportunities, community emergency response teams or CERT teams, local first responders such as volunteer or career fire and EMS agencies, faith-based organizations, and long-standing disaster relief organizations such as the American Red Cross. These organizations can assist you with updated information or locating services such as shelters, food banks, or emergency medical treatment and other services that may be needed within the community.
Okay, I'll stop there for a couple of points that were made in there. They don't reference 211, but that, of course, is a great community resource that will be called upon to push out information and to be used as a resource for you if we get into that type of an emergency situation or disaster. And the warning sirens that they were talking about, it's interesting. A lot of the communities around here have fire whistles, and Dryden, the village of Dryden, just a couple of weeks ago tested their siren systems, which are used for not only notifying volunteers of a large fire, but also in the event if there was a dam breach at Virgil Creek, or if there was a tornado that was going through the area. So they tested, there's 3 different patterns of the sirens. So they tested that for the community a couple of weeks ago. They've actually decided now, I think, to scale back and only use 2 of those, the regular fire alarm and then also the longer tornado whistle or siren would be used in the event if there was also a dam break, just to kind of eliminate any confusion and keep it in people's minds that there's only 2 different types of siren material or siren use. And then I also, speaking of siren, don't forget we also have a mass notification system in Tomkins County, safety and incident real-time notifications, siren, which I'm sure many of you are already signed up for, and if not, we can get you the information on that. So with that, and again, I apologize if the audio is bad. Are there any additional questions this time before we move on? Okay, this next section talks a little bit about you being the first responder. So let's continue.
Once you have your plan established, the next step is to prepare your home and your family by learning about techniques and resources to stay safe. You can take steps now to better prepare for an emergency by learning about basic first aid, having a first aid kit and emergency supplies for every member of your family, including pets, acting to prevent fire and carbon monoxide poisoning, knowing to operate critical home utilities, knowing what type of insurance you have, practicing good cyber hygiene, and maintaining awareness of your surroundings. One of the most important things you can know in an emergency is first aid. Sign up for first aid CPR classes to learn how to respond to common medical injuries, including bleeding, burns, poisoning, shock, and respiratory emergencies. You may also wish to obtain additional certifications for AED, Stop the Bleed, and Narcan training. If you know how to stop bleeding, you can save a life. In the event of a major emergency, emergency services may be stretched thin, and it could take more time to restore utilities and other services. It is important that all family members be prepared to survive without assistance for 7 to 10 days. Take the time now to identify and collect supplies, because when the event happens, it's already too late. Monitor your supplies and replace items when they expire. For a list of potential supplies and for more information, go to prepare.ny.gov. Speaking of supplies, it's also a good idea to prepare a small go kit that you can take with you if you need to leave quickly. Your kit should consist of a sturdy bag, backpack, or duffel bag, water and container, non-perishable foods, flashlight and batteries, a small first aid kit, a signal whistle, moist towelettes, 10 days of necessary medications, and cash, and anything else that you will require for a week or more. Preparedness shouldn't just be focused on the people living in the home either. There should also be a focus on preparing the physical home itself. Fire is the greatest safety threat to the population in the United States, more than all other natural disasters combined. It is important to take steps to prevent fire and to teach family members about the dangers of fire. Talk with your family about things that could ignite a fire or contribute to greater fire spread or injury, including cooking, misuse of electricity, heating, open flame, smoking, and housekeeping. If you don't have smoke alarms or have outdated ones, install new alarms throughout your home and test them frequently. You should have smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside every sleeping area, and on every level of the home, including the basement. Remember to change the batteries in all smoke alarms when clocks are set for daylight savings time, or replace existing smoke alarms with 10-year no-tamper battery units. The sensors in fire alarms only last for 10 years. Turn your alarm over to see when it was produced. Do you need a new one? Home fire extinguishers can ensure a small kitchen fire does not spread and burn down your home or the neighborhood. Ensure fire extinguishers are available and that each person in your home knows where they are located and how to use it. It's also important to know the different types of fire and what extinguishers will put them out. As a rule, wood, cloth, and paper can be put out with water, while flammable liquids such as kitchen grease, oil, and gasoline, and electrical equipment such as appliances and televisions should never be treated with water. Always dial 911 before attempting to extinguish a fire. Never put your personal safety on the line when trying to put out flames.
Many buttons to push here. Okay. So on this question for you, in terms of smoke alarms, how often should we be checking those? Checking or testing them. Let's put it that way. How often should you be testing your smoke alarms? Anyone?
Well, each time there's a time change.
Okay.
Twice a year.
Yeah, that's a good time to check the batteries. Okay, you want to change the batteries every time there's a time change. But what about testing the smoke alarm itself? Testing its operation. It should be every month. Should do it every month. Okay. And then there's the 10-year. Obviously, after a 10-year smoke alarm, just that needs to be replaced. Okay. Earlier, they mentioned about making sure you have cash on hand. Any thoughts as to why you should carry cash and not your credit card?
Computers can be down and they can't use a credit card.
Exactly. Yeah. ATMs may not be operable. Banks may be closed. Businesses may be closed. So always have a couple $100, say, I think is a good good rule of thumb. Maybe more if there are more in your family. But yeah, you can't rely on any technical or any computer issues because you never know when all of that may be down in a disaster.
Carbon monoxide is called the silent killer because it is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless flammable gas that can do severe physical damage and even cause death. When installing carbon monoxide alarms in your home, be aware that the installation location for some alarms vary by manufacturer. Read the provided installation manual for each alarm. Locate alarms near sleeping areas, on every level, and in every bedroom to provide extra protection for loved ones. Remember, New York state law requires a CO alarm in every dwelling unit. To eliminate sources of carbon monoxide, follow these important rules. Do not use unventilated portable heating units indoors. Do not operate damaged furnaces, boilers, or heaters. And do not operate portable electrical generators indoors. Any of these activities can cause deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. When preparing your home for a possible emergency, you should know how to identify utility shutoffs and how to secure them. Electrical utilities include circuit breakers or fuses. Fuel gas utilities include natural gas or propane. And don't forget about your water supply. Check your tools. Do you have the right ones available to complete these tasks? Remember that furnaces, electrical panels, water heaters, fuel tanks, and other utilities must be made safe before an event, and then again after the event if they have sustained physical damage or flooding. Once you turn off your utilities, you should never attempt to turn on any gas, electric, or water connections until the system has been inspected and approved by a professional. Also, don't wait until disaster strikes to review your homeowner's or renter's insurance policies. You should know now what is covered and what is not. Most policies do not cover flood damage. Ask your insurance agent for no and low-cost ways to reduce risk to your home. Photograph belongings and create lists, preferably digital, to catalog items and ensure replacement cost. Keep a copy of your information outside of your home. Maybe you have a safety deposit box or a family member or close friend that will keep this information in another location for you. In the digital age, not all threats are physical in nature, and good cyber awareness and cyber hygiene is a critical element of staying safe from hackers, scammers, thieves, and other bad actors. Beware of common email scams. Use strong, unique passwords and do not share them with anyone. Don't click on links in emails or on social media that look questionable, especially from those that appear to be from banks, credit card companies, government agencies, or other organizations. Monitor your online financial institutions. Do not send personal information and responses to emails, including Social Security or Medicare, and regularly back up important information. Finally, practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to emergencies. Ask yourself and your family these important questions on a regular basis, whether it's month by month or at the very least annually. Does everyone in the family know the plan? Does everyone know who to contact and where to go? Where are your go bags located? Have supplies been checked? And do you need to update the plan? Part 2. You are a first responder.
Sorry about that. I was a little slow on the draw there. So, a couple of interesting stories here on cybersecurity. It was about probably, I'd say, a half an hour before we started today. I got a text on my phone that said, Your salon recommendation received a 10 out of a 10. Do you want to see how it looks? With a link. So I have no idea what that was. So I deleted it immediately. But now's the time. I mean, I shouldn't say now's the time. You got to be aware of the scams all the time. But particularly now with the holidays, you're going to see a lot of those pop up between now and Christmas. Somebody asks about checking for utilities. The best way to do that is get in touch with your utility provider, whether it's NYSEG or National Grid, and learn where those are and how to shut those off if you ever need to do that. Water shutoffs, usually it's your municipality that would have that information, and you can check with them if you don't already know where to shut the utilities off. And then another point on the making a copy of your valuables. I would also consider sending that copy to a contact that is out of town, somebody who's not close by, who may also be impacted by the same incident that's impacting you. So maybe somebody across the country or down south or someone that's not close by who would have that information safely stored for you as well.
In an emergency, it's important to remember the first responder is you. During an emergency, don't panic. Take a deep breath and assess the situation. Use your senses. What do you see, hear, or smell? Rely on your training and planning to take action. When it's safe to do so, check on others. Continue to gather information and respond according to your situation, which may change as the incident progresses. If you have received first aid training, first check your surroundings to make sure it is a safe place for you to be. Next, call for help if needed. Remember that emergency services will be busy during a disaster, so only call if you cannot manage the first aid need. Finally, care for the injured person by providing physical and emotional care to the level for which you have been trained. In the event of a major emergency, you may be asked to take one of two actions: either shelter in place or evacuate. If you are asked to shelter in place, take the following steps. First, let someone know where you are. If it is safe to do so, check on and help your neighbors, especially seniors and others who may not be able to care for themselves. Monitor alerting systems such as NY Alert for notifications and ensure that you are receiving constant information from authorities. Stay away from damaged utilities and all downed wires. Treat any downed wire as if it were live. If you are using them, generator and space heaters must be properly ventilated. Review safety recommendations to ensure your safety. And remember to use 911 for life-threatening emergencies only. In evacuation, as with sheltering in place, the first thing to do is let someone know where you are and where you plan on going. If you have time, check on neighbors. Before you leave, secure your home by moving valuables to a safe location, turning off utilities, locking doors and windows, and boarding up the home. Leave in an orderly manner and follow only official instructions. Know your destination and routes in advance. Take your Go Kit with only the most essential items: water, food, flashlight and batteries, first aid kit, medications, cash, etc. Do not return home until local authorities advise you that it is safe or all clear, and plan on what to do with your pets in an evacuation. Check that where you are going accepts pets. If you
So, a quick comment on pets, just to add, most shelters, if you're going to a shelter that has been set up, they will take your pets. However, they will likely want to see proof of shots, of vaccinations. So, make sure that that's part of the documents and materials that you have already prepared ahead of time, because otherwise they would more than likely quarantine the pet away from you and where away from the general population of the shelter.
To find yourself in a situation where you are completely or partially trapped, first, don't panic. Ask yourself these questions to help you stay calm and get help. First, are you able to get to a phone or cell phone? If you can, call 911 and explain your situation. If you cannot get to a phone, can you call for help? Do you have something you can use to get attention, such as a whistle or a surface on which you can tap or bang? Do not continually yell because it will tire and dehydrate you. Ask yourself, what is trapping me? Is it a blocked exit or debris? Am I injured? How? Can I move whatever is blocking my escape? Escaping partially collapsed structures is like playing Jenga. Shifting the weight of heavy objects can cause further injury, so be extremely careful. If you encounter a situation in which someone else is trapped, first ask these questions. Can you hear them calling out or making noise? Are they within sight, and can you reach them? Are they conscious or unconscious? Can they answer questions? Do they seem to be alert and oriented? Can they move on their own? What is trapping them? Blocked exit, debris, injuries? Can you free them safely? If not, call 911. A boil water order is often issued by local authorities as a precaution when drinking water is suspected to be contaminated by pathogens. If you have any doubt regarding the quality of your water, boil it using this method. Strain the water through a cheesecloth, coffee filter, or another clean filter material. Bring water to a rolling boil for 2 minutes, then let cool. Pour the water into a container that has been boiled or sanitized with chlorine bleach and refrigerate until use. Do not store water in sinks or bathtubs. Do not use unboiled tap water to drink, prepare food, or even brush your teeth. And make sure you do not give unboiled water to pets. If you experience a fire, the first rule is get out, stay out, and call 911. Yell fire several times to alert anyone who may be in the vicinity and go outside immediately. If closed doors or handles are warm or smoke blocks your primary escape route, use your second way out. Never open doors that are warm to the touch. If you must escape through smoke, get low and go under the smoke to your exit. Be sure to close doors behind you. If smoke, heat, or flames block your exit routes, stay in the room with doors closed. Place a wet towel under the door and call the fire department or 911. Open a window and wave a brightly colored cloth or flashlight to signal for help. Once you are outside, go to your meeting place and then send one person to call the fire department. If you cannot get to your meeting place, follow your family emergency communication plan. If you see suspicious activity, do not take direct action. Do not confront the individual and do not reveal your suspicions. If it is safe to do so, record as many details as possible about the individual and their activity, and notify authorities as soon as it is safe to do so. If you have a smartphone, download the See Something, Send Something app from New York State. In any circumstance, if you believe you are in immediate danger, call 911. If you observe suspicious behavior, call the New York State Terrorism Tips Line at 1-866-SAFE-NYS.
866-1866.
Okay, so in terms of suspicious behavior, what would you consider suspicious behavior? Anybody?
Somebody coming on your porch that you didn't know?
That you don't know? Sure. Yeah. something that, generally it's something that's out of the ordinary or something that doesn't look right. I mean, this see something, say something, many folks have come to the conclusion that it's, oh, you're spying on your neighbors. And that's not the case at all. You're trying to make sure that you keep your neighbors safe and your community, your neighborhood, safe as well. So, it's anything. It's really anything that's considered out of the ordinary that for maybe for that area or for your neighborhood, somebody that something that doesn't look right to you is considered suspicious behavior. The other thought, this might be a good time to talk a little bit about something that the in-person course now has added a section on lithium-ion batteries. And I'm sure you've heard a lot about these. These are, they're increasingly found now in many devices and systems that we use every day. The smaller electronics like cell phones and laptops, and some of the larger like electric vehicles. And as these items have increased in recent years, so has the number of fires associated with them. So just a few tips that I'm going to recommend for you to kind of keep in mind when buying or charging or storing them, or anything that's using a lithium-ion battery. Only purchase and use devices, batteries, and charging equipment listed by a nationally recognized testing lab URL and labeled accordingly. Use charging equipment that's only compatible with your device. And to be safe, use only the charging equipment that is supplied with your device. Do not keep the charging device or device battery after it is fully charged. Do not put lithium-ion batteries in the trash. Hear about this a lot. Recycling is the best option. Take the batteries to a battery recycling location. You can take them to the Recycling and Solid Waste Center in Ithaca. Take them around to the electronics section, and that's where you would properly dispose of them. There's a lot of stories about how lithium-ion batteries are thrown in the trash and they catch on fire. Stop using your device if the battery shows any sign of damage, such as an unusual odor, excessive heat, popping sounds, swelling, or a change in color. And only have device repairs performed by a qualified professional. So definitely it's a growing concern. And if you recall, October was National Fire Prevention Month, and their theme this year was all focused around educating the public on the proper use of lithium-ion batteries. Okay, our final segment is on the active assailant, and then there's a section after that. So,
an active shooter is defined as someone who actively engages in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area with a firearm and has no method to their selection of victims. The sad reality is that an active shooter incident can happen anywhere at any time. That's why it's so important to stay aware and alert whenever in a location where people are gathered, such as a shopping center, hospital, office building, club or restaurant, school, fair or festival, or house of worship. Most active shooter situations are over within 10 minutes, sometimes before law enforcement arrives. Individuals must be mentally and physically able to deal with an active shooter situation. Remember these 3 words: run, hide, fight. Run. Look for an accessible escape path and create distance between you and the shooter. Hide. Buy yourself time. Silence your cell phone if you can. Hide behind something that hides you and would stop a bullet. Lock and/or block doors. Fight. When your life is in imminent danger, as a last resort, fight with all your might. It's important to remember that the order of these actions does not matter here. You should evaluate your own individual situation and determine which response is best for you in that moment. Sometimes you may run, then hide, then run again. You may need to hide, then fight, and then run. Do what works for you in your situation. In an active shooter situation, the responding police will go immediately to the area where shots are being heard or were reported. They will likely bypass non-threatening persons, including injured people. Therefore, you are responsible for your own safety and first aid if necessary. Take care of yourself first and others second. 8 minutes, or 480 seconds, is the time within which an active shooter situation typically begins and ends. Less than 10 minutes. New York State and the State Preparedness Training Center in Oriskany have produced an important video that talks about what you can do in an active shooter situation. Visit youtube.com/NYSDHSES to view the video.
And I will tell you that is an excellent video. So if you have an opportunity, you can just Google it 480 seconds and it'll pop up on YouTube. They used to show it as part of their in-person training. It's not a very long video, and I highly recommend it to take a look at that. The other example I was going to give, if you recall, earlier in the fall, there was the incident. This sort of goes back to the see something, say something. There was the incident in the Atlanta airport where somebody had come in and they had determined that they were going to inflict, mass harm on people there, and it was a relative who had spoken with the individual or had seen the individual the day before and knew something wasn't right and was afraid of what that individual could do or would do, and alerted authorities to that, and that's how they were able to intercept that individual at the airport prior to doing any or inflicting any harm or damage. So always kind of be aware of your surroundings. That's the key there. All right, final segment on the recovery as a process.
Part 3. Recovery is a process. Recovery may not be immediate. Remember, you have just experienced a traumatic incident. Programs to assist survivors may require paperwork. You may need to replace your identification or documentation. Be prepared for scams, and remember to take care of your needs. After a disaster, once authorities give the all clear, follow these steps to safely return home. First, do not return home until the area has been declared safe by local officials. Let someone know that you are returning and let them know when you have arrived. Check your home for obvious structural damage before entering, and if you are unsure, consult with a professional. Utilities may have to be checked by a professional and inspect appliances before turning them back on. Do not attempt to turn on any gas, electric, or water connections. Assume all downed wires are live and dangerous. Document and photograph damage to your property. Contact your insurance company as soon as possible. There may be a wait list for inspection of damages and repair estimates. Be wary of fly-by-night contractors and report any scams. Local authorities will provide instructions on disposal procedures, including food, household waste, and debris. Contact your local emergency management office to determine if there are disaster assistance programs in your community. And pay close attention to any program requirements and documentation. When making repairs to your home, consider improvements that will reduce the likelihood of similar damage happening again. Any disaster can be emotionally draining for anyone involved. Everyone exposed to a disaster will have a reaction in the immediate aftermath. For most people, fear, anxiety, and confusion will gradually decrease. Pay attention to yourself and those around you to see if they are overly stressed during a disaster. Make sure you seek appropriate counsel if you feel overwhelmed with fear, anxiety, or confusion. Support could come from a mental health counselor, the clergy, or other trained professionals. Following the information and guidelines in this course presentation can help save your life in an emergency. For more information, please visit www.prepare.ny.gov or reach out to your local emergency management office and get started on your family emergency plan today. Don't forget to include your whole family. Thank you for watching, and be safe.
Okay, so in addition to the prepare.ny.gov site, there's also the FEMA site, which is ready.gov. I believe FEMA's put these in the chat. And then, our local emergency management has a preparedness page called Tomkins Ready. It just was updated last week, added all of the winter weather information in there, some infographics, holiday fire safety tips, the What Three Words app, which is now becoming very widespread, used to locate people if they're missing, and then the community preparedness training information, and a link to the trainings that are done in person in the weeks and months ahead. So I invite you to take a look at that, along with the emergency handbook that you received when you signed up. And Thena, if we can open it up to any questions.
Great. And we did have a little bit of interference with sound, so I did mute everyone. So if you do have a question for Geoff, you can unmute yourself. Again, the microphone icon is on the bottom left of your Zoom screen, or you can put it in the chat, either way.
I think the next one that we're going to do, the next in person, will be done in Danby. I think we're working on a Danby location. We try to hit all sections of the county. We've done that now the last 3 years, and now I think it's time to kind of swing around again to that. Elizabeth.
Hi, yeah, thank you for all that. That was very informative. Lately, I've been curious about how much extra water I should have in the house, in case we need drinking water. And I think I got 4 gallons for 2 people, but my guess is I would probably need a little bit more.
Probably a little bit more depending on, how long you're in a situation. So the rule of thumb is 1 gallon per person per day. Would take care of your drinking and, your washing, brushing your teeth, that kind of thing, cooking. Yeah. Kirk and Catherine.
My question is, we moved here 10 years ago. Our carbon monoxide monitor died, or the battery went bad just a couple months ago. So we removed it from the wall, and my husband says because we have electric, what are they? Heat banks, heat pumps. We replaced everything except the gas stove. We have no risk of carbon monoxide. Is that a fact? And
I don't want to say you don't have any risk. I mean, the fact that you still have a gas stove, you never know what happened to that. But
Geoff, I did mute all again, and it looks like it muted you as well. So you will have to unmute.
okay, I was just saying that I would say you've certainly taken steps to reduce your risk, but the fact that you still have a gas stove would doesn't eliminate the risk entirely.
which I leave on occasionally. And if I left it on unlit, who knows?
Right. So I would check with your local fire department. Many of them will have carbon monoxide detectors that they may be able to give you, as a public service, a community service. Or you may have to just go out and purchase one.
Another one.
Oh, I did buy one, but I didn't plug it into the outlet because I thought, do we really need it?
Yeah. No, I would definitely go ahead. If you have one, there's no harm in using it. That's for sure.
So Kirk and Catherine, I am muting you just because we're hearing a little bit of an echo from your end. So when Jeff's talking, we can hear it twice.
Okay.
Thank you. What else do we have? Oh, I see Rita's got her hand up.
Where can we get a printed copy of the manual?
So Rita, we can provide that for you of the handbook. So that'll come from the Love Living at Home office, and I will contact you after this Zoom, or you can also email us at office and then at lovelivingathome.org. But I will make a note that you're interested in a print copy.
Can we get a copy too? We aren't members yet.
Yes. So you do not have to be a member to receive the printed handbook. That is open to the community. So if you don't hear from us, just reach out to us directly. You can either email us or call the office at 607-319-0162. And we will make a plan to meet up with you to get you the printed copy. And Rita, did you have another question? So if you click,
Just very quickly, where is your office? Is it at Community Corners?
yes, so we are at 830 Hanshaw. We are actually in the Warren Real Estate Building. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Love Living at Home, we offer social events and programming for adults age 50 plus. So that includes events like today's emergency preparedness workshop. We do virtual and in-person events, and then we offer volunteer services like transportation, friendly visits, gardening, tech help. So I'll put a link to our website in the chat too, or you can reach out to us if you have questions about Love Living at Home.
Thank you.
And I did add my email in the chat. So if you have any questions that might come up later on that you are thinking about, and if you go to the prepared.gov, prepare.ny.gov site, this video that you just saw is on there. So you can download it yourself, or I don't know if you can download it, maybe you can't. But it's the YouTube version, and you could play that. You can pause it anywhere you want. Take a little more time with it, since we did go through it pretty quickly today. You're welcome, Celia. Thank you for being here.
And we are raffling off 2 emergency preparedness kits, so the backpacks today. So I guess unless anyone else has any other questions for Geoff, I will do our prize raffle drawing. All right, so I will share my screen here. Okay, and again, we have 2 backpacks to give away. So the first winner is Elizabeth. And our next winner, so Elizabeth will contact you to get you the backpack delivered. All right, and we have 2 Michaels today, so this is Michael P. So our office will be in touch to deliver the backpacks and the printed handbooks to the folks that requested them.
And here's the backpack. I'm not going to open it and take all the contents out, but there you go.
It'll be a special surprise.
Oh, you see it.
Great. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming, and we will stick around for a couple minutes just in case anyone has any questions that they didn't want to ask in a group setting. But I will stop the recording now. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.